Hello, this is Adam Betts, and today I'm going to be covering How to Think Like a Computer Programmer, Chapter 4, Question 5, for my YouTube assignment. Today, we are tasked with doing two different spirals, and I'm going to call this a square spiral because that's kind of what it is, and this one's a little bit trickier, but we're going to come back to this in a second. We need to draw both of these. They only differ by one turn angle, which is kind of a nice hint as to how to do this. So we're going to start off with importing our turtle module, which I've saved, and I'm going to pull it back up here, which is to import the turtle module, set the turtle screen, set the color of the background to light green. We're going to call a turtle test, which is going to look just like a cursor, so we're not going to actually assign it a shape, because that's fine for this. And we're going to set the color to blue, which will draw a blue line. Now to start off, I'm going to go ahead and draw these both from the same thing so it looks exactly like this. Since we know we're going to start here, we're going to need to offset it by some amount. I'm going to say we're going to set out by about 150. So to start off, we're going to pick test up right here. So test.pinup. And we're going to go forward, and I try to keep it in the same coordinate plane, so forward and right, and go positive and negatives to keep it straight for me. And we're going to go 150, which should put tests around this area. Now, to actually draw the spiral, we see that we have some neat little shapes here, and if we zoom in a little bit, you can see it starts off at a point, it goes forward, and it gets longer each time it does this. Since it's doing this and it's doing it bunches of time, we can easily see it does it a lot. So let's just say 100 for this. And we can go from there, because we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's about 25, and that's about 100. So let's just start this. We're going to take advantage of our for loops again. So for I in range, let's say 100. Since we know we're going to be repeating this, we know we're going to go forward. So test.forward, and we're going to have test go forward, and we need to make this a different amount each time. The easiest way to do that is we can take our interval I, and then we can multiply it by, let's say 2. And we can even do I if we wanted to, but I'm just going to do 2 just to be safe, to make sure it's a little bit of a gap there, because you can see it doesn't hug real tight. So this works. And then it's all these are 90-degree turns, so we're just going to test that right, and we're going to go 90 degrees, which you can see here, test actually does turn right. And we're going to give this a shot and see how this goes. You can see test is drawing, but he's not actually doing anything, and this is taking a really long time to complete. So we're going to do two things to fix this and debug it. We can see that right here, test is pin up. So we obviously need to put test back down. So we're going to test pin down. And we're going to add another argument this time, test.speed. And we're going to set this to 0, which will set it where it's the maximum possible speed. So we see here, it goes way, way, way faster. And you can imagine how long that would take to get out here, because it has to do each turn and each line. But fortunately, we are good. We got this. So now we need to reset our cursor, and we need to offset this other side so we can actually do this other spiral. So first we need to go pick test back up, and we can even call this, we're going to reset this. So this first part, let's go and label this to make sure it's all nice and neat. And there we go. Now let's go to the next one where we're going. So we need to reset test, and to do that, we're going to pick her up, and let's do test.go to 0, 0. And this should put test right back to where she started. And we can test that real quick, and we see that it finishes this, and test ends up right back here, which is convenient because now we can start on our next part of this. Since it gives us the hint that it only differs by a turn angle, which it does. You can see that it just gets here, and this only difference here is it gets slightly larger each time. So let's try the same thing. We can go for I in range 100. Let's make sure to actually get that. Test.forward I times 2 and test.right, and we can see that it goes slightly let's see, it turns and it goes slightly larger than 90 degrees. So let's try this to be 91, and let's see how this turns out. Now again, we got to remember to put test back down, as I almost forgot again here. Says our drawing is drawn, and this should, if all goes well, make its second shape that looks very similar to the first one. The offset's not quite right, so we'll add that function as well, and we'll just have let's go forward 150, and hopefully this is nice. And that is the entire assignment. So we're picking tests up, or test. Oh, the problem is since I reset tests here, I reset her after moving her. So if I put her down here, which is why the order of operations is important, it should offset it and start around right here. Yeah, and there we go. Now let's make sure this actually looks the same. It doesn't, though. You can see this is actually going the other direction, which means that it's actually turning left, not right. So we can easily fix this by changing this to a negative 91. And if we do so, we find that this matches this as closely as possible. So, and even so far as doing it, so it looks like we were about right with it doing it 100 times there. So this is Adam Betts covering how to think like a computer programmer, and today I covered how to draw a square spiral and then a rotated square spiral. Thank you very much and have a great day.